my name's Liz, I'm the baker that sews. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you're a subscriber. As always, it's really lovely to have you here as I share my sewing journey. So welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a fabric, which I've got a big pile of here, and pattern haul. I've got a couple of patterns that I wanted to share with you. But before I get started with all of that, I'll let you know what I'm wearing. So I'm just going to pop these fabrics down. I have got on a wrap dress. I made this, I think in May, because I went away with my sister for a couple of nights, and I wanted to have a nice little kind of slip dress or wrap dress. And I've had the True Bias Calvin wrap dress in my stash for years, I think for years. And I just hadn't got round to sewing it up. And then I had this beautiful fabric, which I think I got from Hayes' sister. It's now sadly sold out. And I had that in my stash for absolutely ages. And when I was going through my stash to try and find appropriate fabrics, this one came out and I thought it would be absolutely perfect. I think I've got pictures of me wearing this, so I will put them in now. But yeah, I really love the shape of the neckline. It's not a usual neckline that I would normally go for because it shows quite a bit of bust. But I do quite like that kind of gentle kind of dip of the neckline. I still feel like I'm covered enough across the bust. It is a wrap dress, and there are ties, so this does open up. I'm not going to open it too much because I'll flash myself. And then what I really like is the straps are adjustable. I don't know if you can see that, but there's an adjustable kind of, I don't know what you call it, what you get on bra straps. A slider, I think it's called, so that you can adjust the length of the straps. It stops just below my knees. If I stand up, you might be able to see without falling over. It stops just here. My knee is there and it stops just below. And yeah, I really like the shape of the skirt as well. Obviously, because it's a wrap dress, it's all hasn't got like a gathered skirt on it or anything like that. Yeah, I really like the fit of the skirt. And because it's a wrap dress, you can decide how tight you're wrapping it across yourself as well. Feels really comfortable. This fabric's a cotton lawn, so it's nice and lightweight as well. And I would imagine this dress would look really nice in like a drapey fabric as well. So I've definitely got plans to sew up a few more of the Calvin wrap dress. It was a really enjoyable sew. I think I sewed it like the day before I was going away. And it's sewed up really nicely. It was a really enjoyable sew, so I would definitely recommend this pattern. I'm probably far too late to the party, but yeah, I really enjoyed sewing it up and I've loved wearing it as well. So that is what I'm wearing. So on to the beautiful fabrics that I have been buying. A couple of them are a little bit crumpled where they've been stashed in my fabric stash. A couple of them I've already sewn things with as well. But I think I'll start with the first one, which is this absolutely beautiful lemon themed double gauze fabric. Now, a couple of years ago, I didn't really like sewing with double gauze, but over the last 6 months or so, I've really fallen in love with sewing it up, and I have sewn up a couple of dresses actually. I've got a chalk and notch, I can't remember the pattern name, so I think it's called the Marcel dress actually, the chalk and notch Marcel dress. I've got one of those sewn up in double gauze. Feels lovely and light and breezy for the summer. And then I've also sewn up a Fabric Godmother fleur dress in a really beautiful, fun pink and red strawberry print fabric too. I'll put a picture in of what that looks like. And then Sew Me Sunshine shared this beautiful fabric and I fell in love with it. I bought 3 meters of it. It's on a white background. I've talked on my channel quite a lot about being quite messy when I'm eating and drinking, and just quite clumsy in general. So I do tend to avoid white fabrics, but I just thought those lemons were super fun. They're a really large print as well. And yeah, I just really fell in love with the fabric. It's going to be turned into a dress. I don't know what pattern. I could just go for the Fabric Godmother fleur dress because I absolutely love that. But there's been a couple of new releases over the last few months that this pattern, there's been a couple of new releases over the last couple of months that this fabric would work really nicely for. So there's the Nina Lee Holland Park dress, got loads of different variations. There's also the Nina Lee Mariposa bow dress. I don't think I'd have enough of this fabric for that because it's got this gorgeous 3-tiered skirt on it. There is the Sew Over It Natalia dress. I've just sewn that up in a seersucker fabric and that worked really nicely, but this would work really nicely for that pattern too. If anyone's got any suggestions for that, please let me know, but I feel like I've got quite a lot of pattern ideas in my head already for that beautiful fabric. Where possible, I'll link any of the fabrics down below. This was from Sew Me Sunshine. If they've got any left, I will link it down below. If the fabric shops don't have that fabric left, I will try and link something that's similar. Otherwise, I'll just link the fabric shops. Okay, the next 3 fabrics were from the new Craft House, and I bought them in the sale, and I bought them with patterns in mind. So the first 2 I think are the same. Yes, so the first 2 are the same type of fabric, and they're described as a lingerie jersey. I wasn't sure whether they would be the right weight to turn them into what I wanted the fabrics for, but the first one is like this bright magenta, I think it was described as, kind of purpley colour, and then the other one is this olive fabric. I really love the colour of this one, and the reason I got both of these fabrics was to sew up some swimwear. So we were going away and I wanted to sew up some almost like rash vest type tops with long sleeves, and then a pair of shorts for both Ruby and Lola, just to make sure that their skin was covered up as much as possible. Neither of them like getting too much sun on their skin, which is very sensible. And then we also need to be mindful of Ruby's scar and making sure that that's covered and protected from the sun as well. So I wanted to use both of these fabrics to sew up a new pattern that's been released by Friday Pattern Comes, but it is the Gia surf suit, but I just didn't get my act together enough. I wasn't organised enough to get the pattern printed and delivered in time, but these fabrics did arrive. So actually I've ended up turning them into, I used the Megan Nielsen Rowan jumpsuit to turn it into the top, and then I used the Sew Over It Hubie leggings to turn it into the shorts. I just cut them off as shorts. And these worked absolutely perfectly. I was worried they might be a little bit too thin, but they definitely had the give that we needed. And the top and the shorts came together really nicely. So I've used those fabrics for swimwear for Ruby and Lola. And then the other fabric I got was described as performance jersey, and this was for me, and I was going to be turning this into some kind of swimwear. I haven't got round to turning it into anything. As you can see, I've still got my 2 meters of fabric, and this is a really lightweight colour. And I was very mindful that if I wore this, you'd probably be able to, it would be quite see-through. So whatever I turn it into, I would have to double up or line it. I really love the, I think it's the Sew Over It. I can't remember the name of the bikini that they've got, but they've got this really gorgeous bikini, which is like a tie front detail with some knickers. I'll put a picture in now of the pattern because I can't remember what it's called. And I think I'll use this to sew that up, because I know that you do line that pattern. So that'll do for next year. I haven't had a chance to turn it into something for me this time around, so I'll just put that in my stash for next year. But I was really pleased with the other 2 fabrics, because I did manage to get those turned into swimwear for Ruby and Lola, and they absolutely loved wearing it on holiday too. They've still got loads of those fabrics because they were in the sale. They were really, really cheap. I got 2 meters of each of them. I can't remember how much it came to altogether, but they're definitely still on sale, so I'll link them down below for you if you're interested. The next couple of fabrics, I've got 2 pieces of fabric from actually I've got 3 pieces of fabric from Fabric Godmother. So the first one, there's an absolutely gorgeous release of lots of different fabrics by the same designer. I can't remember the name of the designer actually. Not doing very well in this video because I can't remember half the things. But this is described as Jungle Fever Cotton Sateen, and I've got 2 meters. This fabric is absolutely beautiful. I really struggled to choose out of the collection of fabrics. I could have bought all of them, but I stopped myself at 1. It is so fun. Look at the gorgeous colours in that. I just love how bright and colourful it is. And then you've got all the parrots in amongst all of the bright and colourful leaves and flowers. So I got 2 meters of this. It's a cotton sateen, so it's got a really beautiful sheen to the fabric. I don't know what I'm going to turn it into yet. So if anyone has got any ideas, please let me know down below. I feel like this would make a really fun pair of trousers. I don't know what pattern I would use, but I think this would make a really fun pair of trousers. Possibly a dress, but I was thinking trousers actually. I think that would be really fun. Or dungarees maybe, or maybe a skirt. I have no idea what to turn it into, but I just couldn't resist it with all the bright, wonderful colours. And then it's on like a purpley background. It looks like it's coming up black on the screen, but it's like purple on the background. Really beautiful fabric. Oh, I've just noticed there's big cats hiding as well. I love big cats. I've got quite a lot of fabric that's got like tigers and lions and things all over it too. Really fun fabric. I do think that they had some of that fabric left. And then I subscribed to the Fabric Godmother Dream Wardrobe box. And this was the fabric that came in the latest box. I was trying to remind myself if it was the latest box. It's a bit crumpled because it's been put away in my stash as I was tidying up. This was described as, let me see if I can remember what it was described as. It was described as an Eco Vera satin fabric. It's really fun. It's on like a cream background, and then again it's got all these bright colourful flowers all over it. I do love anything that has got a bright colourful print on it. It has got a gorgeous amount of drape to it. It's so beautiful. So this came with a pattern. I'll just grab the pattern. It came with the paper cut patterns Lily dress and skirt. Which looks really lovely. It looks a little bit tricky actually, especially if I sewed it in a really drapey satin fabric. But it's a timeless silhouette with a classic darted bodice and hip skimming bias cut skirt. So they recommend mid-weight woven fabrics like cotton, linen, silk, rayon and blend. So I might use a linen fabric to sew this up first, because I know that linen, although it'll have drape, will be a little bit sturdier to tackle that pattern first. Those are the line drawings. So I was thinking of using this fabric to sew up the Tammy Handmade Jessica slip dress. I think this would work so beautifully as a slip dress. Absolutely beautiful amount of drape, and the Jessica slip dress has got this gorgeous cowl detail at the front, which I think this would work so nicely as a cowl, like with the cowl detail just like that, and I think it would move so beautifully. I think I got 2.5 meters of this fabric. That would definitely be enough to sew up the Jessica slip dress. So I think that's what I'm going to do with that beautiful fabric. And then the third fabric, I was going to say second fabric from Fabric Godmother, is a really fun fabric which I'm very excited about turning into something. I have no idea what I'm going to turn it into, but as soon as they shared this on their stories, I went and bought some. So this was a viscose and linen fabric, and I've got 2 meters of it. It's really fun. They still got this in stock. I went and checked before I started filming this video. Look how fun that fabric is. It's a pink background, and then it's got all the red lobsters all over it, and it's a viscose linen, so it has got a little bit of drape and movement to it. No clue what to turn it into. It is a really wide fabric actually, and I've got 2 meters. So I really would love your suggestions on what to turn this into. It's such a fun fabric. I feel like that print really needs to be kind of celebrated in whatever I turn it into. So I'd originally thought maybe some trousers or maybe a skirt. But yeah, I'm undecided on that beautiful fabric. So please let me know if you've got any suggestions on what to turn that really fun lobster viscose linen fabric into. Please let me know in the comments below. It's such a fun fabric. Really made me smile when I saw it, so I had to have some. And then the final 2 fabrics I've got, I bought from Rainbow Fabrics. I think they might have been having a sale, or they had a heavy discount on, and that's why I went and bought these fabrics. But the first one is a plain fabric, which is unusual for me, but I do need some plain, just simple t-shirts in my, I was gonna say fabric stash. I need some plain, simple t-shirts in my wardrobe to go with some of the jazzier skirts. I think I always say this, the skirts and the trousers that I've been sewing up recently. So they have got a lot of high quality modal jersey fabrics. I think that's what they call it. Yes. And this was described as a candy pink. So I've just got 1 meter, and I'm going to use this to sew up the Naya t-shirt by Tammy Handmade. It's a really lovely simple t-shirt that's got grown on sleeves, and then the option for this little cuff. I really like the style and the fit of that t-shirt, so that's what this fabric is going to be turned into. It's got a really lovely softness to this fabric and a really lovely drape to it as well, and I think that's going to work really nicely. It's just a really simple t-shirt, and then I can just tuck it into like trousers and skirts and things. And then the other fabric I got was described as a scuba fabric, and I really loved the contrast of the really bright colourful print with the really bright blue background. So yeah, it was described as a lightweight scuba fabric. Look how fun that print is. It feels more like a sateen fabric. It doesn't feel like, I think when I've stretched it, it doesn't really have a huge amount of stretch to it for a scuba. There's not really a huge amount of stretch to it. I don't really know what I'm going to turn it into. I got 2 meters of this fabric. Let me hold it up so you can see. So I really would love your suggestions on what to turn this fabric into. It's got like flowers and abstract kind of swirls and lines all over it. And like I said, I really loved that contrast of the bright colourful print with that really bright blue background. It looks like somebody's like painted the design on. It's really, really fun. So yeah, I would really love your suggestions on what to turn this into. It's a lightweight scuba and it has got a really lovely amount of drape to it. And like I said, it hasn't really got a huge amount of stretch to it. So I think I'll treat it as a non-stretch fabric. But yeah, if you've got suggestions on what to turn this beautiful fabric into, please let me know in the comments below. So that's all of the fabrics I wanted to share with you. So now on to 2 patterns that I wanted to talk about. So the first one, I don't have the instructions printed, so I can't show you the images or line drawings, but I will put pictures in as I'm talking. But it is the new release by Nina Lee, and it's the Holland Park dress and top pattern. I absolutely love this. There seems to be quite a few patterns out there at the moment. They've got like elastic channels in to create shape on the body. This pattern comes with 14 different variations. So you can sew it up as a dress, but you can also sew it up as a top. And there are lots of different sleeve options that you can combine with the dress or the top, and that gives you the 14 different variations. So in terms of the sleeve options, there's narrow straps that you tie. There's these beautiful dramatic sleeves that gather at the wrist with elastic. Or there's these really beautiful wide straps, and then you finish them with elastic and it creates this really cute little ruffle. Absolutely beautiful. And then there's also the option for this really cute top, which has almost got like a peplum, and that looks really beautiful paired with jeans. Absolutely beautiful. So it comes in 2 different size options. So a UK 6 to 20 or a UK 16 to 28, and there's different bust cup options. So for the 6 to 20 it's a B cup, and then 16 to 28 it's a B or a D cup option. In terms of fabric recommendations, they recommend lightweight fabrics like a cotton lawn, linen and rayon, etc. I've actually sewn this version up already in a seersucker fabric and it worked beautifully for the pattern. Really interesting construction, and the instructions by Nina Lee are brilliant. They really hold your hand every step of the way to construct it. In terms of the channels for threading the elastic, Nina either recommends that you use the same fabric to create your own channels, and there's a pattern piece for you to be able to create the channels, or you can use ribbon to sew on the inside for the elastic to be threaded through as well. I really enjoyed sewing this up. I definitely want to sew up a few more versions of this pattern as well. And then the final pattern I wanted to talk about is a pattern that's been out for a while, but it's a pattern by Tammy Handmade. And every so often we get emails from Tammy Handmade with discounts on patterns. So this was discounted, I think it was £5, and it's the Jessica slip dress. It's got a really gorgeous cowl neckline and really thin straps. It's a slip-on style dress, so no tricky fasteners. And it's also designed to be mini length skirt, but I've had a look at the hashtag because I don't like dresses that stop above my knee. I prefer to have them below the knee. And I've had a look at the hashtag and there's lots of people that have extended it. And also I know that Tammy has got lots of videos on her YouTube channel where she's hacked the pattern herself. She's sewn it in jersey and I think she's extended it as well. So I'm going to check out those videos. It's also got tie straps at the back, so you can create a little bit of shaping in the dress if that's what you want to do as well. It comes in 2 different size bandings, so a UK 6 to 16 or a 14 to 24. And in terms of fabric, she recommends lightweight fabrics like a satin, rayon, viscose, crepe or chiffon. And I am planning to use, I don't know what I've done with it now, this beautiful fabric from Fabric Godmother to sew up the slip dress. And see how I get on with it. I really love the look of it, and when I've looked at the hashtag on Instagram, I've really loved all of the versions that everybody's been sewing up to. So I'm really excited about giving that a try. That pattern is a PDF only pattern. It's gone back up to the regular price. I think it's £9.99, but it's definitely worth subscribing to her newsletter, because then she sends out every so often, like I said, a different pattern that is on sale. So it's worth subscribing to the newsletter so you can get notified of which pattern is on sale, and also any other discounts that she sends. Sometimes she has a sale on all of her patterns, but also sometimes you get sneak peeks of new patterns that are coming too. So that was everything I wanted to share in my fabric and pattern haul. If you've got any suggestions of any of the fabrics that I've shared, please let me know in the comments. And if you've sewn any of the patterns as well, please let me know how you got on with them. Once I've sewn up some of the patterns, I'll let you know how I get on. But I've already sewn up the Nina Lee one and I absolutely love it. And I've definitely got plans to sew up a few more of them too. Thank you as always for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd really love it if you could hit that subscribe button. Take care. I'll be back soon with another video. Bye.